Hello viewers and welcome to episode 51 with T-Kush35's Better Than Wolves playthrough. We are a bit of time after I ended episode 50. I continued digging in that direction several hundred blocks, probably maybe almost 1,000 blocks that way. Every 100, making a portal, popping my head out and seeing what was what. And every single one of them without fail was either underground or above ocean. One of them was a spider spawner, so I got some moss cobble or moss stone and an ancient manuscript and a couple other small loots from that, but mostly going that direction seems to be a bust now. So I'm here at the first portal I made from the intersection. So it was intersection, first portal, second portal, and then 800 or 100 blocks that way is the village. And if I recall correctly, this portal is above ground, and I think it is worth exploring in this vicinity. Perhaps not at this time of day, but I think it might be far enough from spawn to have a chance of having villages, and it's also on land, so that makes it good in and of itself, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and make this at least a little bit safe, and I will be back in the morning when I'm ready to explore. Now, I suppose brief interlude before that happens is, or brief note, is that I do not have a map, so I do not have a good way of keeping track of where I need to come back to. So it's definitely going to rely on these loose cobblestone pillars and keeping myself safe that way. So in the morning, I'm going to pick a direction and we're going to start exploring, and that'll be that. So I'll see you then. Okay, so I'm thinking of peeking my head out here now that it's almost morning. There are some squids yet, and the sun, can't quite tell which direction the sun's coming from. I think it's coming up over that way, which puts that in the east, west, north. So I think that's back towards the base. I can't remember. Whatever, I think I'm gonna go that way because there's some plains and it looks exciting. So here we go. So I think instead of doing a fast forward this episode, I'm going to just do cuts when things get interesting, sort of deal. So for example, I'm just gonna walk this way, do some walking, do some talking, and when things look a little too boring, I'll cut and then come back when things get exciting again. I think that will maintain interest without having a whole bunch of footage to go through. And the footage going through really is just making episodes that aren't back to back all just music, because that's not the most interesting ever. I mean, I assume that if you're watching this, you're watching to see someone play and talk. So I'm gonna try to maintain that. And it actually would have been nice if I had kept some of that netherrack on my person, but this will be fine. So anyway, I'm gonna keep heading this direction and see what I can see. So I will be back in a bit. Not particularly valuable. I sailed across some ocean and then trekked across some land this way, so to get back to the portal I need to go about that way. But I found some above ground pumpkins. Like I said, not useful anymore, but fun to have found. So yep, just gonna keep going this way, trying to veer through desert and plains where I can find them. I'm gonna try to skirt this little swamp to see, or not swamp, jungle, to see if there's any temples on the outskirts of it. But the adventuring shall continue. So see you later. Alrighty, and just over the crest of one of those dunes, I found what looks to be a desert temple. So that'll be pretty cool. Not the most valuable of things, but another enchanting table is useful of sorts. And maybe the loot inside will be valuable as well, so gonna try to be a little careful with what I have. Just gonna venture on in, close off these entrances, trying to keep spiders out. And then, yeah, just gonna jump on down here. Try to make sure that all of these possible entrances are not anything of import, because I would hate a creeper to fall on my head or something like that. So we're gonna do what I did last time, just mine around the outside here. Okay, got one more. And then we go this way. Some coal that I'll probably have to throw out at some point. Let's go ahead and get closer to that. Oops. Well, luckily that didn't blow anything up. That would have been bad. Just keep skirting around the edge of this until we get to the bottom. Ooh, gold ingots. That's nice. That's pretty well worth it. Alright, have we found the bottom yet? I think could have found the bottom. Yep, there we go. Alright, successfully disarmed the trap. 9 powder kegs, good to go. Then we head back up, and we'll just bust our way through here. Because it doesn't matter. Ooh, a whole bunch of iron and gold. Lovely. So this is even better than that other one that I found, which I like the sound of. Just go ahead and condense all these resources. I'm gonna leave behind this wool that I got from killing sheep, since that's not particularly useful. Bones, keep for now, since if I find a wolf, that'll be good. And that looks to be about it, so let's get on out of here. Take my resources with me, thank you very much. Oh, can't forget the enchantment table. Oh, I heard something. Swear I heard the thump of some creature falling. It's probably some spiders that are around. Okay, yeah, it is nighttime. It is pitch black nighttime. That's fun. Alright, well, I'm just gonna do some cooking, and I will see you all in the morning. Toodaloo. Alright, and with the night done, I have lost a bit of time during the day, but, oh dear, that was not what I was hoping would happen. Oh god. But I think gaining that food supply was worth it, because I cooked an extra 2 chops because of that sacrificial delay. I kind of wish that that had been a jungle temple instead of a desert temple. It was so close to being all I could have hoped for. Well, not all I could have hoped for. Some of what I could have hoped for. Okay, so we're gonna keep heading this way now, because I don't really want to go through the taiga. The mountains aren't particularly helpful either. There is a point at which I should consider turning back. That is a really cool arch there. But I'm gonna keep heading this way, and then I will come back if anything interesting happens. So I'll see you then. So I've hit a wee bit of a dead end heading that direction, since, yeah, I came from that way. So I think I'm going to turn around and try to get back towards the general vicinity of the portal, and then see what I can find there, since I'm really far away from it right now, and that's gonna get a bit difficult in the long run if I don't want to get lost. So we're just sort of heading back towards these mountains, gonna traverse through them, whatever. Okay, good, I did find that little marker there. So I've made my way back towards the shoreline. And there's that marker. Okay, perfect. So, yep, that's where we're sitting right now. Gonna make my way back to the portal, or at least towards its general direction, so that I can have a more established base of operations as far as that goes. So I will catch you when I'm back at the portal, or if I find something interesting. You know the drill. See you then. So I have not made it back to my portal, but I am part way there, and I figured since there was a bit more land this way to explore, that I'd go for a little dip dive this direction, see if there's anything before heading all the way back to the portal. Also, I want to apologize for my gritty voice. It's I've had a slight cough, almost congestion thing going on for the last week or so, and it occasionally makes my voice really, really gritty. So, hopefully it's still understandable. I'm also trying to be a little quieter, which then makes this whole endeavor a little bit more difficult. So I'm only seeing swamp here, which isn't the greatest of things. So maybe I don't head this way, but either way, I have to bunk in for the night, so I will do that and report back. Yeah. Okay, so here we are, back at the portal. And I'm thinking I want to head that way, since I now have an idea of where exactly the portal is and what I need to do to get back to it. I want to try to follow the whole potential plains that might be spreading this way, because where there's plains, there might be villages. That's what I like to hope. So that's what we're gonna do. Eat up my stuff here. And always try to keep pillars pointing at the last pillar. And of course, we're going to now be able to spawn mobs in this weather, but hopefully it'll stay safe enough that I can keep adventuring. Just gonna give those hops there, since it saves me a little time and aggravation. Okay, so another desert. Is that a temple or just a dune? Can't really tell, so I'm gonna head towards it. So this adventure is all in search of books, which might at this point just be a silly endeavor, especially since I haven't found another village. And even if I find a village, if the zombie villagers, or if all of the villagers are still zombies, I'm not gonna have a way to cure them. I don't even know how to cure them. And I don't know if it's a matter of the farther you go, the less likely they are to be zombies, or if it's you always have to cure them now. And not having that knowledge actually makes this kind of difficult. Because say I happen upon a village, and they're zombie villagers, then I've just wasted another village spawn, which is gonna suck. Okay, so let's see, we've got hills over there. Yeah, and then taiga this way. neither of which spawn villages, which I think really sucks. I really wish that we could have villages in more than just 2 freaking biomes. Especially because whenever I'm looking for them, those biomes seem ridiculously... Oh. Oh my goodness. This is the path that goes back home. This is the shoreline where my world corruption happened. Because that's a marker right there. Oh, okay, well, I guess I'm turning around, because that's not worth continuing that direction. Unless I were to just, like, cross it and keep going that way. That might be a reasonable thing to do. Though at this point, I think it might be worth it to just do some more nether tunneling. While this going overland is great, it hasn't been the most profitable, and in some ways, it's slower. So, I'm going to head back to the portal, and we'll make another decision there. See you then. Made it back to the portal with no sign of issue. I think I am indeed going to go that way. Kind of sort of a through the taiga direction. No idea what time of day it is right now, though, so that's a bit frightening. But I think I'm just going to try to not fall off the ice to lose all my torches. Because I like having my torches. I like them. They're nice torches. Just kind of put a little marker there. And scoot along this little edge of the mountain. Maybe I should go up the mountain and try to see what I can see from up there. Maybe that's useful, maybe it's not. And it looks like I'm going to have to go through mountains anywhere. So let's go ahead and use some oak planks, since I can just chop down some more trees to get that for free. Okay, yep, we're just gonna... Well, first... Scoot along this way. And, like always, I'll be back if anything interesting pops up. See you then. So I'm just having the darndest of luck here. I went over a small bit of water through the mountains there. The another portal's pretty much directly that way. But I just still haven't found anything that looks remotely like what I want. And it's getting late, and I should probably try to call it a night pretty soon here. Which means, unfortunately, this episode is not going to consist of me finding something as useful as another village. I did find a decent amount of gold, iron, some more powder kegs, and then an enchantment table, so that's pretty useful. But as far as finding another village goes, I failed in that spot. So I'm actually wondering if way back when it was incorrect for me to get any closer to that village than I needed to. Because there was a zombie villager there. And if there was one, there were probably 2, is my guess. Which means I could have potentially cured him and just had a village going, instead of aimlessly wandering like I have been, which kind of stinks. But at this point, I think I need to just not focus on this much longer. Maybe do it in between episodes or something, since it hasn't been overly productive, and geez, the graphical glitches are just strong today. So, I'm thinking maybe I need to hold back on the exploring for a while, do some more base development maybe. I do know that I could attempt to rack up my Enderman supplies, try to get towards finding the end portal. Just finding it. Oh no, because I can't do that until villagers. So villagers definitely represent a step that I need to get to. So maybe this is what I need to be working on. Sure, there's base building that I could be doing, but I'm going to need villagers at some point anyway to progress any further. And it's always good to have that in mind. So if I head that way from the portal, I'm just backtracking towards spawn, which I think is worse. Which means maybe I hop in the nether from this portal and just head that way or something. That would also be inherently farther from spawn. Alternatively, I could go to the next nether portal and explore around that way, since I'm fairly certain that that was surrounded by land as well. I'm not sure if it's true, but it seems that the nether portals that I make around places that I'd already generated through some other form of exploration seem to have a much better chance of spawning on land than the nether portals that I generate from the nether to the overworld. I don't know if that mechanic is actually true, but it seems to me that it's possible. And so, ooh, pig meat. Awesome. I kind of want to do more overland exploring than under, if you will. But that does mean that these episodes of sort of blank exploring are just going to continue. Is there a reason for me to tame this bad boy? I could eventually take him home. I just have to head that way by a lot. Yeah, you know what? I'll tame him. Leave him here. Come back eventually. Come here, Pooch. Where'd you go? Pooch. I can hear you. But where'd you go? There you are. Good puppy. You stay here. Okay? Not too close to the nether portal. Otherwise you'll turn into a bad Pooch. We don't want that. Oh. Here's another Pooch. I'll go ahead and throw my bones at him too. Hey. Nice. Alright, well, I think that's going to do it for episode 51. It's a bit shorter than I'd like, since I did a lot of cutting. But hopefully you'd enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.